think I'm live. I think I'm live. I'm trying to put Lila to sleep. Okay. I'm live on YouTube and I'm live here on Instagram. I know I'm fixing my hair too at the same time. But today we are going to talk about, oh my gosh, I totally forgot the name of the live we're doing today. How to pick the best system for your small business. And I want to talk about what a system is versus what a process is, because that will help set the foundation for how to help us pick the systems we need for our small businesses. If you're a service-based business, a coaching business, or you are a product-based business, these things will differ. And if you do have questions and you're tuning in live, make sure you add them in the comment below. Ask them now, or if you're watching the replay, please feel free to drop comments with clarifying questions or just questions and examples from your own business that you would like answered. I'm happy to do that. Or feel free to DM me, because some of these things will be a little bit different based on the business that you have or the type of business that you own. So we're going to talk about the difference between a system and a process first. And if you've been following me now for a while, I have covered this in other videos, topics, trainings, but if you're new, thank you for joining in. And a system is a set of things working together as part of a network. So there's many things that are in a system. It's really your why you're doing something, or it's like the goal you're trying to achieve within the system. So some example of these would be your marketing system, your sales system, your client onboarding system, your client management system. And a lot of people, especially in the online space nowadays, will tell you that a system is just your tech, and that is just a small piece of your system. It is part of I would say, if to give you a visual, it's a cog in the machine, and the machine is the system holding one of the machines holding up your business and your overarching business. So if you have a sales system, a marketing system, a client management system, or a deliverability system, we'll call it, you will have, those are three parts. Oh, sorry, Lila. Those are three things holding up your business, and they have cogs within them. And some of the cogs will be your processes. So that's a process is a part of your system. People, software, and software could be tools or equipment as well. Those, especially for product-based businesses, you're going to have as part of your processes and your systems, you're going to have tools that you use. Like for Zach's business, he uses a lot more tools than I do. My tools are very software based. I do have some equipment, obviously, like my laptop, my wireless keyboard, my wireless mouse. Those are my tools that I use. Notebooks are part of my tools, but he has more tools and equipment that he has to factor in for. And then sometimes, depending on the type of system that you have or what kind of business you have, will be raw goods or partially finished goods from another part of your business. They are moving to another part of the system to help you complete this. And a good way to think about that, especially in an online business, is sometimes you're going to have data that's moving from one system to another. A lot of people get really stuck on that because it's so conceptual, the way data moves. So that's another part of your system, is the information in the data. And there are systems for information as well. Like, how are you keeping it? How are you storing it? What is transporting the data? So that is something we look at. I look at a lot with my clients within ELF operations, is where is the data going? How is it being transported within the system? Oh no. How are they going? How is that data going through, and where is it moving to? Where does it need to be stored? Who needs to have access to it? If you have people on your team, you want it to be transparent and not all over the place. You want a very centralized location. So getting back to the difference of a process, is a series of actions or steps in order to accomplish a goal. So like I mentioned before, a process is a smaller part within the system. It makes up, it's a cog. So if we think about the system, we have your processes is a cog, your software is a cog, the information is a cog, the people within your team and in your business. And if you're a solopreneur, it may be is just you, but if you start thinking about it now and thinking about who you can delegate and how you can delegate, it's going to it's going to make it easier for you when you are able to bring more people on, when you get to that step in your business. So those are all the pieces. Those are the differences, because a lot of people sometimes don't know what the difference is between a system and a process. So the process is the how and the system is the why, the action or goal you're trying to achieve. And your best system is going to come from a few things as you are the business owner and having to make those decisions. A lot of people will come to me and ask, okay, what's the best CRM, or what's the best way for me to onboard a client? And how do I create a system that works for me? Like, they think it's just copy and paste between businesses. And it's really not, because of all those pieces that we just talked about. All those cogs are very specialized and unique to you and your business. So you are going to have, depending on your goals, your vision, and how you are as a leader, it's going to affect your processes and what tools are going to make it make sense for you. Now there's going to be definitely overlapping, like, okay, most online business owners and service providers should have a CRM to help them with their onboarding. So that software is going to be pretty standardized, but I'm also going to use an example from Zach's business as well of, because it brings a better visual. And I'll also use an example in my business of, if you have most people, if you have a construction business, have like a paint sprayer or a saw or a tile. I forget what kind of things he has off the top of my head. I'm not very specific, but certain companies are going to like certain brands better because that is a personal preference from them as the business owner and the tools that they've used that works best for them. And in an online business or a service-based business, my CRM doesn't always work for for my clients. I love Dubsado. I have Dubsado. I think it's an amazing software and tool, but I also don't recommend that to everyone. And that's because my software isn't always applicable because of a few differentiating factors. So this is how we're going to transition into how to pick your systems, is building it to what you need and focusing in on, okay, what software do I need to help support the process that I want to complete? What are my goals? What am I doing? Really getting clear on the what in your business and the how you're going to do this is going to help you before you pick your software. So don't get all caught up in the features and the fancy things until you understand your how and your what in your business. And then you can start looking into, okay, what are tools that I'm already using? Is this tool going to integrate with other tools that I'm using? If not, it probably isn't a good fit for me. Can this tool support me in 6 to 8 months? Is it going to grow with me, or am I going to have to pick a new tool? Don't just pick a tool or a software based on immediate need, because if you have plans to grow as a business owner, you need to have a tool that can adapt with you at any given point. So really defining those processes for yourself first, and then going into, okay, what tools and software do I need? What's my price range? Can I stretch that price range for a tool that's going to maybe be able to grow with me or help me grow at an expedited rate? A good example of that is I spent extra money from the get-go on my CRM and my project management tool when I was bootstrapping because I wanted those to be my basis for my business. And also, I knew with how limited time I was going to have, I needed things that had great automation and great organization to help me stay on track and maximize my time. So I wanted to be most productive in the least amount of time possible, which is something a lot of my clients need and want because they have a long to-do list, but not a lot of time to do it. So we need to keep them focused and keep them on track of what they need to do. And then, the information that has to go from one system to another, that's the next piece of, part of that system then also by mapping out and process mapping, you'll be able to see, okay, this data or this information needs to go from this tool to this tool. Or if it needs to go from this person to this person once you start to add in more people. But the people part will be last usually, because right now, it might be just you, but as your team grows and you want to scale your business, who are the roles that are going to support you in that? And sometimes if you're the only one doing it, you will split it up into multiple roles, because it's going to make sense for the person that you're hiring, and two, how you create your hierarchy within your business and helping keep those parameters. But it's important as in part of your process and in your system, what roles are doing which things and when the data and the information is going to be transported from one person to another, and vice versa for software as well. Or if a person has to enter the data into a software. Now that's granted one thing that you can automate pretty well, but if there is something like out of the ordinary that happens a lot, you want to know where they have to enter that data into, or that information, to help trigger the process that you have. So a lot of those things on how to pick your systems, you want to start with having your sales system, your marketing system, and your client deliverability or client management, depending on the business. There's a little bit of terms interchanged there, but products and services, how are you getting them out to your people? Those are your main systems, but then mapping out the process first, going through and deciding, okay, what tools or equipment can I have to help me do this better and get it done faster, because efficiency is key. And then taking those questions that I mentioned previously of, okay, what's going to grow with me? There's a lot of points that you need to consider when picking those softwares, but it's best not to get into analysis paralysis when you're doing that, because you're going to be wasting more time. So you need to make a decision based off of a few key points of, does it integrate with everything else or other tools that I want? That's something I look at with a lot of clients. I'll bring it up as, you might not have, let's say you maybe don't have a learning management system yet, but in 3 months, once I make X amount of dollars, I want to have Teachery, or I want to have Thrivecart Learn, or I want to use Thinkific. I'm just throwing out some examples of tools that I love and recommend for learning management, but I don't have it now. But it would be really important for me that my checkout software integrates with them. And side note, Thrivecart, they actually are a checkout software, so you could kill two birds with one stone. So sometimes you can do that, but sometimes all-in-one systems don't really solve all the problems that you want them to. Because I've heard a lot of people talk about Kajabi or Go High Level or things like that, and they're all-in-one tools, but they really don't apply or work well with the business owners, some of the business owners, due to the type of industry they're in. So will the software work for me? Was it made for my business? A lot of people are like, just pick this. This is what I love. But then they don't consider what their business truly needs. Like a remote legal team that I have talked to, they aren't going to use something like Dubsado or HubSpot because they need sometimes more security. There's more sensitive information. Financial planners, I've seen, there's a very specific CRMs to them because it helps with the policy building and helps with how many, a couple other pieces of their business. So if you can find a software that's very specific and niche to your business, then that's going to be better than using a software that's not meant for you and just don't buy it because of the buzz or that's what an influencer is talking about. You need to, as the business owner, go through and see, is this meant for me and my business? Does it make sense? Is it going to support me in 6 to 8 months? Is the price point something I'm comfortable with? Honestly, I will tell you, you should stretch for software that is going to help you be more efficient and expedite your time. There's a better return on investment there, especially if it's going to help you with automations and save you time. That's always worth it. So that's going to be how to pick your systems, like is going through those exercises and helping you weed through and make those decisions of what software needs to happen, what people do I need in place, and help you define your process at first. And that's always going to be in flux. The process, there's always room for improvement. There's going to be continuous improvement. Getting comfortable with that is something I work with clients on because they think just because you have a system in place, you're stuck and it's rigid, and that's not true. The system is there to help for scalability, help for new people, make clarity, predictability, stability, all those things. But it can change, and it will change, especially as you grow and as you get feedback from your clients or feedback from your employees of like what's working and what's not working. That's going to make you a better business owner. The first step is picking what you need and defining your process, your vision, and your goal as a leader and as a business owner, and then executing those. So if that's something that you're struggling with or you're having blind spots with, I'd love to talk more with you. Feel free to book a complimentary call with me. But if you also have questions, you can drop them in the comments below if they're just a one-off thing. But if you would like a little bit more in-depth information or insight into maybe what would work best for you, I'd be happy to chat with you. And you can book a call at my website. And I'd love to connect with anyone who this resonates with. But thank you for joining in on this episode of Behind the Scenes. I totally forgot to even say the name at the beginning, but behind the scenes on how to pick your systems and like what goes into your systems. Because this is really the behind the scenes in any business, and it's the core function of all businesses is how you're operating internally. And that's going to help you with the success of your business. So I'm thankful for everyone who joined. If you're watching the replay, feel free to let me know in the comments below. And I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Bye.